It's official, Bodo Glimt are winning the whole damn thing. Meanwhile, Arsenal's latest bottle was spectacular, but we mustn't forget it's been raining. And just like Mourinho, Benfica take the lowest road possible, responding to the Vinny Jr. racism scandal. This is DMAC Daily. Yesterday, we saw the absolute worst that football has to offer. Today, however, my faith in humanity may have just been restored thanks to Arctic Minnows Bodo Glimt, because this team just cooked Inter Milan 3-1 in the Champions League playoffs. I'll repeat that. Bodo Glimt has just defeated the 2025 and 2023 UCL finalists, convincingly, may I add. I cannot emphasize enough just how ridiculous that is. Inter's Nicolo Barella is literally valued more than Bodo's entire squad. Reminder, this club didn't even win the Norwegian top flight in 2025. They are not a traditional powerhouse club within this region. Less than a decade ago, they weren't even in the top flight of Norway, adding to the pure insanity of it all. Bodo Glimt are literally in pre-season right now. I mean, look at their stadium in the build-up to their latest UCL match. They had to shovel out 80 tons of snow just so this match could even go ahead today. Yet somehow, the unfancied club in their 3 competitive outings of 2026 first smashed Manchester City, then beat Atletico Madrid on their own turf, and their latest victim now being the Italian Giants. If Real Madrid or Barcelona deliver this kind of UCL form, it's impressive, but a club from a small town on the outskirts of Norway is beyond preposterous. It's the stuff of Football Manager fairy tales. Miracles like this defy all logic, yet at the same time it's almost a disservice to call it a miracle, because this club also reached the Europa League semis 9 months ago. It's not like this rise has come out of nowhere. They're consistently delivering in Europe, all whilst playing a thrilling brand of football. Today was a prime example. All 3 goals scored against Inter were simply phenomenal. Technical players, intricate passing, and ruthless end product to match. So now a return leg awaits at the San Siro. Bring the whole city of Bodo to that venue and you're still not selling out the stadium. If they manage to overcome Inter in that second leg, then I genuinely think this is a top 3 achievement in UCL history. A nightmarish scenario for Inter though, deservedly losing. It also appears as though their captain Lautaro Martinez sustained an injury too. As a collective, the Serie A is in the mud right now in terms of their UCL representatives this season. League champions Napoli exited in the group phase, and now this. Juve smashed, Atalanta bang average, and the country's most informed team humbled by a Norwegian club. Elsewhere in the Champions League, and fellow underdog club Karabag had a far less memorable night under the lights. Battered 6-1 by travellers Newcastle. Anthony Gordon with a diabolical evening of stat padding, scoring more goals tonight against the helpless Azerbaijani side than he has all season in the Prem. In fairness to the England international though, bro is a different animal in the Champions League, churning out prime Messi Ronaldo numbers here with 12 goal contributions in 9 games, an involvement every 55 minutes this season. Only Mbappe has more, and he's only 1 goal shy of Kane's English record of 11 in this competition. It's been an otherwise underwhelming season for the Geordie side, but the European dream is still alive and well. Heading to Belgium, and Atletico Madrid, unsurprisingly at this point, stumble away at Club Brugge. I said it the other day following their 4-0 thumping of Barca that they'll probably back this up with further inconsistency, and lo and behold, they've done exactly that, conceding late on in a 3-3 stalemate. Now, in fairness to the Belgian club, this is a very talented young team. They drew with Barca earlier in the UCL this campaign, and have also reached the quarterfinal stage of this competition in 2 of the last 3 years. There's certainly no pushover by any means. Simeone himself described the opposition as, quote, the most intense opponent in the Champions League. But considering the gulf in financial prowess and that Atletico rested 9 of their starters on Sunday for this match, they'll still be disappointed. Defensively speaking, they're so far removed from their former selves. If it wasn't for Oblak, they could have conceded 5 or 6 today. Wouldn't be surprised to see Brugge advance in the second leg. In fact, I genuinely think they will. And last but certainly not least, Bayer Leverkusen pick up a comfortable 2-0 win away at Olympiacos, the ever-reliable Patrick Schick popping up with a brace. Moving to English football, and BOTTLEJOB FC, I mean Arsenal Football Club, have delivered another incredible, magnificent, glorious hate watch. I'm out of superlatives to describe this euphoria I am feeling. The top of the league yet spiritually banter FC club were 2-0 up away at the worst team in the division, the team that had only won once in their previous 26 attempts, yet they somehow managed to pull off a dramatic comeback. The first goal was an absolute beauty from Bueno, Leno. Not much the keeper could do there. The second goal, however, was a comically bad mix-up from Raya and Gabriel, with Calafiori, the man who was brought on the minute prior in an attempt to close up shop, inexplicably turning the ball into his own net. That's now 7 points dropped from winning positions in the Prem in 2026 already. It allows City to potentially narrow that margin at the top to 2 points if they beat Newcastle this weekend. Granted, Man City too have been very inconsistent for a supposed title contender, but they've definitely improved of late since bringing in Guehi and Semenyo. Igor Tudor now has the chance to do the funniest thing possible. Could you imagine the chaos if Spurs beat them on the weekend? Arteta will be still confident of a result. They've beaten Tottenham in their last 3 games at this venue, but they've opened the door to more uncertainty, just like they did away at Brentford. The mindset of this team was fearful, far too risk averse, and they paid the price. Putting teams to bed is proving to be their kryptonite, and even against a side like Wolves, whose morale is at an all-time low, managed to get a result against the Gunners. Keep in mind, Wolves still could mathematically finish as the worst ever Premier League team. It's a deeply humiliating setback. The fan base are now in full-blown panic too. The PTSD of another second-place finish is terrifying them. A disastrous result, but as stated earlier, we mustn't forget it's been raining. Moving to a much more serious topic now, and the fallout from the Vinny Jr. scandal has been pretty insane. Now, unless you've had an internet detox in the last 24 hours or so, I'd assume you're all well aware of the context of the situation. And I will say the response from the broader football community, for the most part, has been pretty on point by fully rejecting any legitimization of racism. In instances like this, showing solidarity to the alleged victim is the bare minimum if you have a moral compass. But unfortunately, there is still a loud minority of individuals that still try to justify potential hate speech. In Vinny Jr.'s case, he was too provocative, that he incited this and was somehow deserving of it all. A ridiculous notion, which was why I was so repulsed by Mourinho's comments, because instead of showing genuine concern about the victim of an alleged racist insult, he just chose to gaslight Vinny Jr. It was a total betrayal of his anti-racist past. That was bad enough, but Benfica's response in the immediate aftermath was particularly deplorable. First releasing a video in an attempt to debunk Mbappe's comments that he heard the insults directly from Prestiani. But the video displayed shows Mbappe looking at him from a very close proximity. That's not the gotcha they seem to think it is. They mention distance as if we don't have multiple angles of that exact moment readily available. Other videos also show Mbappe visibly distressed at multiple comments Prestiani made. So for Benfica to come out with an inconclusive video response like this is such an inappropriate and petulant way to handle one of the most serious alleged offenses in football. Upon the news that UEFA is now set to formally investigate the incident, Benfica responded with an official statement outright denying any wrongdoing by their player, suggesting, quote, "The club regrets the defamation campaign to which the player has been subjected." Their official stance is not something along the lines of, "We will respect the independent investigation of UEFA." No, instead, it's basically, "He didn't do it, Vinny's lying, and everyone else is against us." Honestly, I'm at a loss for words. They didn't condemn or make any mention of their fans hurling objects at players or the video footage that shows multiple fans racially insulting Vinny Jr. This was such a grossly negligent way to handle the situation. I wonder how some of Benfica's own black players must feel having seen their club arrogantly dismiss any possibility of racist incidents occurring. I think it's telling that Benfica club legend Luis Sal showed solidarity with Vinny Jr. in the immediate aftermath and was then subject to significant racial abuse himself online, saying, "They called me a monkey, Judas. They said I wouldn't step foot in the stadium again." All in all, just a terrible look for Benfica and for football in general. Anyways, guys, that's all for today's DMAC Daily. See you tomorrow.